best affordable whiskey of the year? Grab a drink and I'll tell you why. They own a lot of brands, but they don't own the Horsey Bottle, Blanton's, or Pappy Van Winkle, but they own a lot of the Buffalo Trace brands. I know you might say, well, I've been to Buffalo Trace, all those bottles you mentioned are there. That's true. However, Blanton's and the other Takara brands are contract distilled at the Buffalo Trace distillery, which is owned by Sazerac, just as the Van Winkle line. But it's all connected right there, right? But there's some serious history here. And before I get into that, let's try the original one. Let's take a look at these two bottles. You might notice a difference. Yeah, one's a liter. So coming in at $35, this new release at 100 proof is $35. Does that mean it's better? We'll see. Sazerac Rye, to me, was always a good go-to affordable bottle. Now, it is rye, but I think it's an approachable bourbon drinker's rye. Let's try it. This one's 90 proof. I think it's got a great, sweet, oaky nose with a little bit of like orange peel. It's got a great nose. $25. Let's try it. Yeah, it's not a bad pour. And again, this is meant to be a mixer, specifically for the Sazerac cocktail. Now, this harkens back to New Orleans. I won't get into the whole history, but if you're ever in New Orleans, go to the Sazerac house. It's an awesome tour, and you might even be able to pick up some of those other Sazerac brands you can't find in your local store. But even here, actually, on the new bottle, they have the actual cocktail on the back. The Sazerac cocktail. So, 25 bucks for Sazerac Rye. Good nose. How does it taste? This isn't bad. It's not bad neat, and it'd be even better in a cocktail. From a rye perspective, I've had a lot more rye-y ryes. This is very approachable. The Sazerac here at 90 proof is drinkable. It's tasty. It'll get you there. It's a little thin. It tastes a little young. Little like oaky. You know, I wouldn't sip this neat for long, right? But it'll do. But how does it stand up next to this 100 proof? Also, we just got to say, these bottles are beautiful. And you don't really see a price like this anymore, $35 for something like this. So I'm hoping it's good. Let's try it. Nice color. Yeah, there's more of an oaky darkness, like a darker charred oaky nose here. I don't get the like light orange, but I might get a darker fruit nose and maybe like a little bit of like fresh like lemon or something. Let's try it. Oh yeah. Those 10 extra proof points, they really do a lot. Now, I did not see in any of the press releases anything about an age in here. I'm assuming it is not much older than the 90 proof. I wouldn't see why. I could be wrong on that. It tastes older, and it might just taste older because there's a bit more proof in it and it's not as watery. Let's try it again. It's a lot more viscous. Wow, this is really drinkable. Oh yeah, and then on the finish, you get a little bit of orange. You might get a little bit of like mint, but it's not overpowering. This is like, if you're scared of rye and you don't know kind of which one to jump into, this is a great one to do that with. Thomas H. Handy. Thank you, Wes, for the sample. That's the bottle you see with the BTAC lineup. The Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, Thomas H. Handy. That's one of those you can't find, or if you find, it's $500. And you can't tell the story of Sazerac without Thomas H. Handy. Bought the Sazerac Coffee House. He owned Peychaud's Bitters, you may have seen those. And he built a liquor empire. So, Thomas H. Handy, the rye, 100 and what is this? 27 proof. This is the 2024 release of the Thomas H. Handy. Let's see how it tastes compared to these others. From what I found online, I think this release had 6-year or older rye, which is, now thinking about it, quite a lot of money to pay for a 6-year age statement. However, the nose is great. Compared to these, I get a lot more of the candied orange. You obviously get a little bit more ethanol at 127 proof. I get a little cherry in there. It's a great nose. Let's try it. Oh wow, really viscous, really sweet. A lot more sweet than the first two offerings of the Sazerac rye. The finish keeps going. Let's go in for a second sip. Oh yeah, the second sip, even more pronounced with cherry, orange, that vanilla oak. Maybe even a little bit of like a puff pastry kind of thing. It's a really solid pour. I don't know if it's a $400 bottle pour, but thanks, Wes, for this sample. Again, really interesting though, trying all these together. You've got the original 90 proof Sazerac rye for around $25. I think you can find in most places. You've got the newest release this year, which is the 100 proof Sazerac rye, which is again is a liter at $35. And they're good. They are meant to be, you know, the bartender's friend, right? This is the whole marketing aspect behind the Sazerac rye and the whole history. Being that this was the rye that used the Sazerac cocktail back in New Orleans at the beginning. That really sort of started that cocktail movement. But I really like this pour. So, who would I recommend this for? I think if you want a good budget bottle for $35, you want to try something new. If you're a bourbon drinker who wants to branch out a little more, you can't really make a mistake with this. $35 for a liter. If you like bourbon, you're gonna like this. For the few who may not like this, you can put this into a cocktail, and I think it's gonna add a lot more character than just a straight up sweet bourbon at this price. You get a bit more of that baking spice, a bit more of that, what I typically say, like sort of like a carrot cake, right? It's sweet, but it's got a little bit of that sort of allspice, cinnamon kind of thing, which is very faint on here. I really like this as a buy. It's got a great history. I love New Orleans. Cheers. Sazerac rye, maybe, probably the best budget buy of the year. Cheers.